Hello and welcome back to another RiftGuides WildRift video. Today we are going to take a look at the 10 best champions, or rather 10 of the most broken champions in WildRift currently. So if you want some free LP, just log in these champions and let's get right at it. For our first champion we have Zarya, one of the most broken AD carries in this game, and you can probably just blind pick this champion all the time when in normal or under normal circumstances you should only pick this champion into heavy engage. But simply because she does so much damage and people are easily caught off guard 24/7, this champion is unbelievably overpowered. And the moment you understand and learn how to do the fast combo with the feathers, you instantly blow people up and therefore accelerate this champion's strength into the heavens. Now you just add to the mix that you can poke the enemy with your feathered empowered auto attacks in the laning phase by hitting through minions and set up nice plays with just placing feathers strategically, and then the enemy can't really play or they instantly die. The next pick on this list is going to be Draven mid, and yep, you heard me right, Draven mid. Draven mid lane doesn't lose to any champion in the game. The Lucian can basically just run away from you, but any other champion gets completely stomped in. The purpose of this pick is just to stomp as hard as you can, get leads so abnormally high that nobody can face you. Your champion wants you snowballing 1 taps or 2 taps everything that comes close to you. But if there's one thing I need to warn you about, is that if you get behind on this champion, life becomes miserable very fast. Your champion is designed to be ahead, and only then in the super late game when you have full items, then you'll be truly shining again. Because your champion in late game, thanks to how your axes work, deals so much extra damage. So if you're getting ahead super early on and get items super fast thanks to your passive cash in mechanic, you completely stomp the entire game. The next champion I need to talk about is Hecarim. Hey you! Yes, you. Can you see this? So many people are not yet sub. Be honest, what's stopping you from subbing? Let me know in the comments below. Hecarim has been slightly nerfed, quote-unquote slightly. He lost a lot of resistances on his second ability and some damage, and he's still absolutely overpowered. All you have to do is understand how to clear your jungle and how to abuse laners for overextending. The moment you get ahead, the game is basically over. But please do yourself a favor of not itemizing into full offense items like Yuma's Ghostblade, Trinity Force, and Gluttonous Grease, like all these super snowball items, because then you'll get outscaled super fast. Your champion performs much better if you go for the Bruiser variant and therefore has little counterplay to actually, well, you can't be dealt with. Luckily for you, if you want to learn how to clear your jungle, you can basically just watch the Jungle Academy shorts and understand how fast you can clear your jungle on basically any champion I've done so far. That way you'll learn to honor consistency over coin flipping and get, well, way stronger in your games and more reliable to carry. But if there was one thing that you need to know about Hecarim, please run the rune Overgrowth. This rune is way too overpowered on your champion and generally in the jungle department that missing out on this rune loses you stats more than 1000 to 1500 gold, like close to 2000 gold depending on how long the game extends for. And next up we have Vladimir on the mid lane. This champion has also been nerfed on basically every single spell, but is still a very problematic pick, and all that this champion needs is ability haste. The moment this champion has enough ability haste, he basically completely wipes your entire team. And all he needs for this are a few items. Lucidity Boots as a starter when you start with the Ruby Crystal into heavy laning matchups. The Ruby Crystal will allow you to trade differently as you're used to simply because you have more HP, and then you can get lane leads or survive lanes so much easier. The next thing I personally like the most is rushing Riftmaker after my boots. The ability haste I gain from boots and Riftmaker and the extra damage and healing makes life so much more nice. But in order to completely wipe the enemy team, you need to get towards 2 or 3 items, and then once you get into the later stages of the game with even more items, the enemy gets instantly blown up. However, there's one pick that completely deals with you and completely negates you in any way, and it's Kassadin. So in order to save your mental, please ban this champion if you want to pick Vladimir mid lane. Now let's get back to the AD carry department, and here we have Caitlyn. Caitlyn is next to Zarya and Tristana the most broken AD carry. The biggest differences between Zarya, Caitlyn, and Tristana is basically all about laning. Zarya has a very strong lane and can 1v2 easily and punish people. Caitlyn can do the same. Tristana can't really do so, her range is too low in the early game and she really struggles dealing with lane bullies. But you will always have this late game security that you will easily carry the late game in basically any scenario unless minions and the enemy team are fighting you, which then forces you to either deal with the minion wave because your team never does it, or to kill the entire enemy team and then lose to the minion wave. But for Caitlyn there are a few things we need to talk about. Number 1. How to lane as a Caitlyn. Whenever the enemy goes for a minion, you need to use your superior range to punish them. When it comes to brushes, you want to place your trap at the entrance of the brush, so the moment the enemy walks in there, you get them into the trap and the headshot extra range. Whenever you walk through the enemy jungle, place a trap in the enemy jungle just to make sure that you gain some extra vision the moment somebody walks over it. If you have the luxury of doing so, fight in brushes, because then you get double the headshot stacks, which then leads to more damage, because your headshot deals more damage to the enemy than you usually would deal. Oh yeah, and around objectives, please use the traps as a way to navigate the enemy into certain directions. You want to create a wall and to create a pathway where the enemy has to walk through so you can deal easy damage to them. You can also use it to deny enemy dash spells right onto you, like a Void Charge, a Lee Sin Jump. Any of these abilities, like your Leona E or third ability, will all be denied if you have a trap there. Obviously, there can be no broken champion list without Kha'Zix on it. So this lovely champion full clears his jungle once, resets, has boots, and then absolutely annihilates you thanks to his first ability's evolve. So in order to reach this, all you have to do is literally full clear. Understand how fast you can clear your jungle, avoid some conflict before you hit level 5. On level 5, get your first ability's evolve, get your boots in base, and then kill basically everyone. After this full clear, you can go base, buy your boots, and then invade the enemy's respawning buff. And there's not much they can do about this unless the entire enemy team collapses on you, because at this point, you win basically every 1v1. Just wait in the brush, wait for the enemy to use a cooldown on said buff, and then pounce on them. Even more annoying about this champion is the fact that you cannot really go anywhere into the jungle in the later stages of the game when you face this champion. He can hide basically anywhere and instantly kill you thanks to the jump evolve or the spike evolve. Whatever you do, it's very difficult for you to get on top of this champion because you can always just run away. So most of the time, a Kha'Zix player will only die if he gets CC chained, messes up horrendously, or the enemy team is just better working together. If you consider a solo queue context, this is not going to happen quite often. Next champion who basically also feasts on the same thing is Evelynn. This champion is so horrendously broken it's not even funny, and this entire list basically consists of broken AD carries, broken junglers, and there's one broken support champion and another champion for support which I will not really list because, well, she's permabanned anyway, but technically both of them are permabanned, but yeah, you get the idea. For Evelynn, there's one thing you have to understand, similar to Kha'Zix and Hecarim. Please learn to clear your jungle. On Evelynn, you can clear your jungle completely before 1 minute and 30 seconds. This allows you to go for an invade or for an early reset for tempo on the map. You have so many possibilities just by clearing your jungle efficiently. And when it comes into the later stages of the game, please do yourself a favor, locate the highest value target and wait or see if they have exhaust. Another secret about Evelynn is you need to max your third ability the fastest, or rather the earliest. Obviously, you will still start with your first ability to have a better jungle clear, but overall you'll max your third ability first. The next champion, or rather the next two champions, are the most annoying ones in the game, and it's Lulu and technically Yuumi. These champions are so overly unbalanced that it's so annoying. Yuumi's stats are way overtuned and need to be lowered. She really can't die during the laning phase unless you have Thresh and Draven or Leona and Draven. And Lulu, on the other hand, creates a monster as her AD carry. And not only this, her laning phase is quite broken as well. Just pick up Ares, Scorch and Cheap Shot and you'll see that your laning phase is one of the most toxic laning phases that you've ever seen. You just have to auto attack frequently and start with your first ability. There is so little the enemy can do if you understand what you're doing. It's actually comical. And then with the way the game works, all you have to do is get your Ardent, get your Harmonic Echoes, and get your Zeke's Convergence, and then your AD carry becomes an absolute monster. And as we're getting close to the end of the video, there's one thing I need to tell you guys. We are currently working on something really cool for you, and if you want to support us early, you can do so via Patreon. By doing so, you also get some extra early rewards before everything even goes live. But something that should have never gone live is Mr. Lee Sin and his buffs. This champion is an absolute absurdity in WildRift. As an early game champion, this champion has one of the fastest clears in the game with about 138, 139 for a full clear, by the way. Doing so and then going for Scuttle nets you level 5, and then you can basically bully people into the oblivion. You can just safeguard into their lane, kick them into Narnia, and execute them without them being able to do too much about this, and that's the pleasure of playing Lee Sin. You can recall, do 1 or 2 camps, and then invade, go behind an enemy tower, kick the enemy out the tower, and basically ruin their lives. What you can also do is the moment the enemy doesn't have flash anymore, you can just safeguard into their lane constantly and kill them on cooldown. Lovely champion. But another champion who has been buffed recently is Fiora. This champion is one of the most broken duelists, well, if not the most broken duelist in the game. No champion in this game can side against her when we get into the later stages of the game. It's not really that her laning phase is that weak, you just need to be mechanically competent and understand what you have to parry and what not. And especially your movement around vitals is key to your success and to maximize damage dealt. You can also do fancy combos which allow you to basically instantly proc your entire ultimate if you utilize Proto Belt. But yeah, there's one thing you need to know about Fiora. She's very mana hungry, so you basically always need a mana immune somewhere in your build. Otherwise, it's just impossible for you to constantly use your spells, which are basically the most important thing about your champion. And that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We will soon be back to streaming, still enjoying Arena at the moment, and then we'll go back to streaming a few games. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, post something in the comment section to boost the algorithm. The algorithm loves this. And yeah, see you next for another RiftGuides WildRift video.